Is that kind of cool to know that you're a junior in college and that there is a level of expectation for people's feeds that they expect you on it in a certain way?
Yeah. I mean, I think outside of even just any age factor, it's like people like what it is you have to say or make. And I mean, that should be humbling. Uh, I know I kind of cornered myself with that humility thing, but uh, no, like it's surreal. Like I think yeah, at some point, if we're going, sort of a different discussion, I think people are going to kind of wake up here and see just how much time they're spending on their phones and on this content. But whether people are numb to how much time they're spending or not, they are still choosing, my voice and my content to fill their days. So that's you should, I don't know, take some responsibility and pride with that.
You do a good job of balancing your opinions versus giving information. What
Hmm.
is your kind of your calculus with that? I feel like there's a very thin line.
Yeah, that's 2 years of high school journalism and then writing 2 years for the college paper. And my mom was a journalist up until recently. She retired from the Washington Post.
Congrats.
So yeah, yeah. So lots of sourdough bread being made around here. But she I mean, just you take these classes and you learn what it is to, write a nut graph and how that's different from, an opinion piece or whatever it is. And that's a line that gets blurred a lot, even by major networks and things like that. So as stupid as or silly as NFL content is, especially the vein of content that I make, you still have to uphold some journalistic integrity, and those are kind of ingrained in me. I have sort of a old man soapbox take that everyone should at least be familiar with some of these principles because it affects it. Like once you actually understand what a good story is and what it looks like to have these principles respected, then you can cut through a lot of the bullshit that's out there that you see every day on your feed.
So that's I was not expecting that. So you come from a traditional journalism background, but at the same time you make I don't want to call it untraditional, but you make modern day media, but a lot
It's
of it,
entertainment.
yeah,
It's
it's
not
entertainment.
journalism. Yeah.
But a lot of it is informing. Like you're doing game recaps. You're doing what they do on Sports Center. So there is a level of like you breaking information to people whether you want it or not.
Yeah. I mean, definitely some of that. Also, so you will be surprised what these athletes see. Like when like or how cognizant they are of their image. Like if you post something out there with their name on it, certain guys, there's just so much noise around them that they won't see it. But they'll see a lot of it. And you hear it from enough people to who have been, confronted or whatever. Like from a moral perspective, you can't just say whatever you want about these guys. Like you have to have some, human decency and respect. Uh, and also just strategically, like you can't go and hurt your image. So yeah, like understanding what it is that I do and respecting it as entertainment and not pretending to be something else is important to me until it is that I'm doing that something else, right? If it ever was the more serious, buttoned up uh operation, like you don't want to have ruined your image by pretending to be something you're not.
Do you want to share who any of those athletes are that you might be alluding to?
No, but well, I have so I'm not active on Twitter. But I was just messing around with whatever, either a burner account or whatever at Jets training camp a couple years ago, and posted some video of Brees Hall making a nice catch and put a little caption. And sure enough, later that day, my know nothing, Twitter account has a like from Brees Hall on it, and you see it also. I mean, I work closely enough with uh, college athletes at UVA, and yeah, like guys and girls care about their image, and it's not hard to search your name on Twitter or TikTok or anything like that and see some results. And we're very separated from seeing these people as humans sometimes, but you know, a lot of them Google themselves like any of us would.
A lot of ways, it's just kind of like a reflection of the 2026. Gosh, I don't know why I can say 2026, but it is 2026. It's just a reflection of the media space now, where like everyone has a voice.
Yes, for better or worse.
Yeah, no, for better or worse. But it also enables people like you who are just naturally passionate to say, "Hey, I love football. I want to talk about whatever I want," and it puts you in this spot.
Yeah, so I mean that's really cool, right? Especially, I mean, you think about just making it. I mean, I never set out to make money. I never set out with the intention of monetizing the account specifically. I looked at it as something that is okay, I'll get reps on camera. I'll show my ability to be a digital storyteller. Ugh, I just threw up in my mouth. And then, get picked up by Bleacher Report or whatever it is. And then eventually, I can eat. But to actually have the account paying my bills, it's kind of surreal, right? That was never the goal when I set out to do it, which is sort of important, right? Like if you set out to make content with the goal of just general virality, this idea of people liking you or money, your content's going to suck. And maybe you can do it, but you're not going to be happy. So starting from a position of what do I like to make that resonates with other people, that was the goal. So the fact that money ever entered the equation in the current, structure of TikTok is kind of it was secondary, but welcomed.
How do you, not just from a goal perspective, but from a literal time perspective, how did you continue to kind of grow and build without
Yeah.
overwhelming yourself? Because what takes you 20 minutes now probably took you 2 hours before, or you couldn't even do it.
Yes, I mean there's definitely some truth to that. I'll be so I've been making videos since junior year of high school. So that's coming up on 4 years now, which is kind of crazy to say. I'm still using the same microphone that I did then. So I have the whatever Shure SM7B, and that's a really nice fancy microphone, and you thread it in through a mixer and then into the MacBook, and you have lighting and cameras and all that stuff. Most of what I make on my account is done with a $60 microphone to this day, and a USB-C converter, a dock, and that's it. So while it's true that as you get better, you get faster, you get better gear, like it just, does have this kind of compounding effect. A lot of what I do, I had the ability to make at any time with a $60 microphone. Um, so really the biggest thing, I mean, you mentioned goal setting, is like, all right, I've been doing this for 4 years. I've really think I've, the channel's really grown or the account's really grown in the past two. Scaling is always a question, but it's also about making work that's more rewarding. Like TikTok, the cool thing about it is that anyone can do it. And all they have to do is set aside whatever it is, an hour, 2 hours of their day, depending on whatever their technical proficiency. The downside of that is that there are sort of diminishing returns as far as if I pour in a ton of work onto a video and I take a week to post it, maybe it'll do better. You would hope it would, but that's no guarantee that it will. And sort of the way it's structured is they like consistency, and it benefits you to make content that's like sort of identifiable within what the algorithm perceives you to be in your space. So my point is that you set aside 2 hours a day and you can do that, and it's awesome and it's a low barrier to entry, but the actual creative payoff is not the same as say a YouTube video, or let alone, a movie or something like that, or writing a book. Like it's not quite the same level of achievement. It's sort of a different gamified but still like content driven thing. So it's sort of its own thing, and it's new, rough, for me at some level, but I don't know, like as far as setting goals, landing in something that is like a little bit more of a creative payoff would probably be the end goal.
But at the same time, if you spend 10 days making a video and you typically spend 2 hours making a video, could you argue that that's actually an investment? And it's not about how many views you get on that one video that took you 10 days, but it's the skills you're learning from it. And so
Yeah.
like that can kind of extrapolate.
Yes. I mean, it's totally real. And there are people who make art on TikTok and all kinds of really involved and in-depth things, and they have huge followings that are bigger than mine. What I do, and as you know, I mean, timeliness is a huge factor within sports. And so if I spend 10 days working on this beautiful film breakdown of Geno Smith, no one cares what he did 10
Yeah.
days ago. So for sports specifically, you have this fast turnaround, and it's a trade-off in between the quality of your content and the time that you get it out. And there's this finite sort of window where you can satisfy both. And so people who do well in the TikTok sports space are in that window. But like I said, it's sort of nice to really like pour into something and then have a finalized product that is just better than what you can do in 2 hours or whatever it is.
This is why you publish podcasts where you interview people. So you don't have to feel beholden to a 16 game slate,
Yes,
which like you do every
evergreen
Sunday.
content. Evergreen content is awesome. I
And
love this.
but yeah, no, especially for you in the football world, assuming it's a normal week, there's like 16 games on a weekend. And you have so little time because before you know it, Colin Coward already has his podcast up. Blading Kirk and Stay Hot already has their stuff up. There's such a small world where you can get your content and for it to be unique and timely.
Yeah. Uh, and a lot of that is like, all right, you can try to manufacture it and think about it and go in saying, okay, here's when Bladen publishes, here's when Colin publishes, and I'm going to exist here and I'm going to do this certain thing. But a lot of time, the hesitation that you have trying to figure out what it is that you're going to do is wasted. Just start making things you like, and you'll be surprised where that leads you. Because I didn't plan to have this structure. You just fall into it. You figure out what you're good at. It's very empirical, and like, this video did well, this one did not. Maybe you really enjoy making the one that didn't do so well, right? That was more of your creative stroke. And I've definitely felt that before. But it's hard to walk away from success and sort of what you are defined as by the algorithm. And so like, you can really plan to be one thing, but you kind of just got to make what you like and hope that there's an audience for it. And usually there is.